Welcome back, everybody, to the Cinnabar Hot Takes podcast. We have DJ Big C, we got Joey Dreams, and myself, Mochi Larry. Hope everybody's having a very hot time here at the podcast. How are you guys doing in this scorching, hot Cinnabar Island?
And I don't want to be that guy. I think I'm doing better than Caesar at the moment. Just a little bit. But then again, he out here doing big things and stuff like that off the side. But I'm doing objective. Good. Right. We don't know what's really going on. Just chilling. Running some numbers. Doing some VGC stuff here and there. And trying to get a little more competitive with it, focus on EVs. So that's what I've been up to the past week or so. What about you, Caesar?
I've been doing well. I mean, great. No craziness happened this week, so that's always great, man. I'm working on trying to get a couple other things on the VGC side, more important stuff as far as getting more people involved and stuff. Trying to see what else we can do. Use people's talents to different parts of the VGC of the channel and stuff, and also looking to increase the amount of subscribers we have on the YouTube channel. That's kind of what I've been doing in the back end.
Nice. And what about you? What's been going on?
Well, I've just mainly been using my free time to focus on the Cinnabar Island Draft League itself. And every time I get an idea for the future, I jot it down. I'm thinking about the next season and then the next season. And I know I got to be careful because I got to think about the here and now and the matches I have ahead of me and my opponents. But I've been wanting to just continue to grow our community. We've had a very generous and very just a very kind and giving community so far. And there's not even that many of us, but just so many people so far have stepped up. And we have, Sarah Jane, who has boosted our server a few times now. I'm very grateful for that. And then we have others who have just been very cool about scheduling their matches. They've been reaching out to their opponents, been very helpful with getting people ready and preparing their Pokemon. That's just stuff I love to see. I love to see it, and I love it even more because people are just doing it on their own. It's not like we're saying, hey guys, you can't force people to be a community. It has to come naturally. So it's kind of cool when I start seeing the things just happen. People start slowly posting memes and doing reacts to things on their own. I like seeing that, especially this is a new server and it's growing. So that's really exciting. And it's got me excited for the future of this server and the entire league itself.
Yeah, it's a very healthy community. I really enjoy all the people there. There's a couple of people I know some people from in person. Well, actually a lot of them in person. And then there's a couple of people, I've had experience with the past. And then, there's people who, I only know them by, a name that's given them and their username. Juan is someone that, I don't know. I know them, from Caesar, word of mouth. And, great guy, seems really nice. So overall, it's a vibe for sure.
And that's what makes this fun, is when the community is having fun. And that's what's going to keep people for the next seasons, regardless of their win-loss rate. But speaking of win-loss rate, so let's take a look at we're in season 1. Let's take a look at week 1.
Yeah.
So how did you guys do in your matches week 1?
Week 1, I can start for myself. Week 1 was really great. I faced against SJ, very tough competitor. You know, at one point I was like, I definitely lost this, but very, very, very strong competitor. I think she definitely has a strong team, and I think like she's someone to keep a lookout for. I know she was like, "Hey, I'm getting into the VGC scene," but some of the plays she was doing was like, really big brain plays. Like she literally like made sure like when I went into the games, like she shut down Amoonguss at one point, and I was just like, "Yo, how do I actually use this Pokemon?" And then eventually I was like, "Yeah, I just got to stop using this Pokemon." But it took me three game like into our third game for me to realize like, she has like counters and she's like pretty good at reading people. Um, so that was something new and expectant, something fresh. Um, and the trash talking too, man. I loved it.
Yes, she said she's not here to make friends. She's here to win games. Her words. But then she
Yep.
said she is here to actually make friends as well. So that was a relief.
Yeah, whew. I was scared. I was scared, man. And then me and you had a great game. Went to 3 games or game. Yeah, 3 games.
Oof, that was tough. Game
It was
3, I had exhausted all of my resources, and you had me figured out. Like I couldn't get you. I was like, damn, this is not my match. I cannot beat him today. But
yeah,
next time, I'm coming for you.
but overall, week 1 was fun. It had me, excited. I know for one we had someone out for the league, and I think that definitely gave a different experience to Caesar. So Caesar, how did you handle your first week? You had M Card Mystic you had to play against, and he wasn't able to compete for the season, so he had to resign from the league. And I believe you only had one match week 1. How was that experience as a whole?
Well, just wanted to see first where I believe it was SJ is how we were as she is in the league's name. SJ decided to join this league. From understanding, it's the first time she's been doing VGC competitive. So it definitely was an interesting approach because you're really not sure when somebody says they're new to it where they're gonna start from, how they're gonna approach the game. She approached it like a pro, basically. Looked at what a Pokemon can do, gave it the correct items, gave it a correct Terra, did what the Pokemon was supposed to do. Was she didn't prepare for a backup plan, and that was the only thing that we're gonna build on, obviously. So I give her all the props for just coming in there with a game plan, executed the game plan. Just did not have a. It doesn't look like she had a backup plan on her team, which is something that she could definitely work on free agency. Um, for I believe her game plan was Trick Room or Bust. So it was Trick Room off the Giraffe rig. If I did said it right, Giraffe rig. Ugh, terrible with
The
names.
giraffe,
And
the Farigiraf.
figure it. Yeah,
Damn
that
it, the Farigiraf, not the
one.
giraffe rig. That's the pre-evolution.
Uh, so yes, the evolution, and the biggest thing about this this battle was the fact that I wasn't too familiar with the ability of the spider of with the water bubble thing that I had going on.
Oh,
Yeah,
Arachnoid.
yeah. I really am not familiar with the Pokemon. And I mean, after you have 1,000 Pokemon, like, you're gonna really remember everybody's abilities. Like it's really hard. So once I saw that I threw a fire move, it didn't work. I'm like, all right, which was Will-O-Wisp into it because I was trying to cut his attack, and I'm like, all right, so it has that. I can't cut his attack. I realized immediately it was also choice banded, because she didn't attack with anything outside of liquidation, so it was pretty straightforward. Um, so I took game 1 by flinching the trick room setter because she needed trick room to set up and start sweeping my team.
Mm.
And you had a really competitive match. I mean, it's on YouTube. Anybody listening,
Yeah, I would
you
say
can watch it back,
match.
um, and you can see the whole thing. I actually have also cut out the move selection from it as well. So you have the ability to just watch it, chill back, put your hand wherever you want to. Don't know why I said that.
Wow. We'll be back
And
after these short episodes of advertisement.
you can sit back, watch the match. I got a little background music too. I mean, sit down on your lounge chair, get some
Light a
sun,
candle.
and enjoy yourself a good old Pokemon match with
Mm.
zero interruptions. I mean, you're just watching hard hitting Pokemon, and then they're switching in and out. Oh, it's beautiful. It's my favorite thing that I've done so far. I love it.
Mm. Yeah, I think overall week 1 was a big success. Really well executed. I'm interested to see how some of these people start their week 2s. Especially you got your average Joe. He had a bye, and then he was supposed to face Mystic. So basically, he had a whole week off. Allowing him to test Pokemon, get some footage. I want to see what type of strategies he's implementing. What practicing, what planning he's working on. I think that's something I'm looking out for. As I update these leaderboards, like is he someone who's going to be like coming back? Is he someone who's going to be just be pushing through or keeping up with the pack? And I think that's the best part about the season. Honestly, is we all have our own schedule. It's not like we're running on a schedule as a weekly league. Like, oh, everyone has 2 people they got to face. Yada yada yada. Like we have a bye. We have basically essentially 2 buys for each team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like everyone's moving at their own pace. Like for example, I look at my schedule. I'm already basically almost done with my schedule. I got 3 more people to play against, and then my regular season is done, and I can basically like right now I'm on top of the leaderboard, but I can easily get overtaken. Ant literally has 9 points, only has 3 battles. He has literally half, a third of his battles to go. So it makes it so like people can catch up. People are going to be coming from behind. You got a team, especially like not your average Joe's. Like I'm waiting to see like how far they keep pushing and stuff like that. It's almost like you're actually watching some sports right now. Like there's the standings, there's leaderboards, and it's just a lot going on, and it feels very personalized, and I really like that.
Yeah. I think the point system that we have has made things very competitive, and we've added that incentive to try to win your matches 2-0 versus a 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, then you have those people that can just kind of like, they can still keep you from getting that extra point, even if they don't feel like they can like have the skill to beat you in the match. They could be like, all right, well, I don't know if I can beat this person. I mean, that's not the winning mindset, but you're like, all right, maybe if if I could just get a game off of this person and do some sneaky tactics, I could keep them from getting that extra point. I could keep them from getting closer to their end game of trying to get to the playoffs, especially when things get competitive and there's only 6 spots.
Yeah, it's again, it's spicy. Like we don't know what's gonna happen. Everyone has their own strategy on how they're gonna be playing it out. And I'm just overall really excited. Especially for the newcomers. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited about them diving into VGC and learning things. I'm going to make an effort to reach out this week and see if anybody wants to, train or practice for any of their matches. Because there were some people on the initial survey that said they were open to receiving some help. So I'll reach out and see if anybody wants to have some practice matches. I'll make sure that they're not people that I'm playing immediately. That way I don't learn all their strategies and think I'm taking advantage of them.
Yeah, I think with me finishing most of my games, I really just have, not Travis, Joe, and Neru, who are seasoned players. And then, Juan's working with Caesar, which I think is good. This Saturday I'm going to be reaching out, or this week I'm going to be reaching out and then scheduling some time Saturday when I have free time and just be like, hey, I'm available. I've already played most of you guys, so I'm here to help out any way I can.
Yeah, that'll be great. Practice is great. I mean, I love to just play practice matches, and because the more matches that you play, the more you get a rhythm for timing and switching out and when to use protect and when not. Which I have to say, Joe, you've definitely like every season I've watched you play. And of course, I'm referring to a season of a draft league that is not recognized here in the Cinnabar Island of relevancy. But you definitely have gotten better every time that you've play. Like I noticed from playing against you. I noticed from watching your match today. I was like, dang man, this dude's just getting better every time. Like, is a completely different person from like the first season.
Bro, I look at the stuff like I always have it on my desktop of all the stuff I'm working on. And one thing I will never delete off, or one thing I'm not removing from my desktop is literally my Pokemon list when I first drafted my first team. And literally Caesar was like, you should just, write down their abilities. What do you want it to do? What moves you want it to know? And I'm like, yeah, it's a great idea. So, like, I got like my Garganacl, got my Tyranitar, Garchomp, and I'm over here like writing down their abilities. Like, this is a great ability. This is great. This is great. And next thing you know, I'm like writing little notes in here. And next thing you know, I'm looking at my moves. I send this over to Caesar. She's just like, yo, why is everything out body press and iron defense? I'm like, it's not that many. Bro, it's literally half my team had it. And we had like 10 people, 10 teams. Or 10 Pokemon, so it's all this weird, but like, so, shout out to Caesar for that, always telling me like, writing down what do you want it to do. So, I think that's a great advice people to give people. I didn't have that advice going into my first season prior to drafting, but once I got it, that made a huge difference. And it's something as simple as write down what you want this Pokemon to do. Something so simple and so basic, you wouldn't think of. That's why you have people like Caesar and Ant who ask these basic questions, and you start answering them like, okay, I know this is common sense, yada yada, and then eventually you start figuring it out. So,
man, my favorite thing on that list was the Electros. That was so bad.
bro, I put fast and versatile moves, no weakness with
No
levitate.
weakness.
But I put fast and versatile, and then I'm like, yo, this thing is not fast later on in the season. I was like, this thing is slow as hell.
And then he wanted to do, what else was it on that first? Oh, his Tyranitar. He didn't want it with the Sandstream. I was like, what is wrong with you, guy?
Yeah, you told me to go back and check that out. Like, there's some weird things on here. Like, I'm reading them now, and I'm like, what am I talking about? Like,
you need Sandstream. That's
like,
what makes
that's a must.
That's really sets him apart amongst all the pseudo legendaries. Is his ability to set the weather, and the weather benefits his special defense as well.
And then you can always give him an assault vest, make that special defense bigger.
Like, some of the stuff like is crazy. Like, I'm reading now, like Slat King, and I made a new tab. Just I know I'm going off topic. I just need to share this. So I put for like, what does it do? I put powerful AF, but needs Graphite to be viable or Pokemon to no skill swap. And then over here, I wrote a note, and I'm still reading it. I'm like, what the hell was I talking about? I put could use speed 114 Swoobat, to use skill swap to swap skills for the turn, then swap skills again with the enemy, giving them true on. And I'm like, yo, that's so much. Like, who's thinking? Like, who's writing this stuff down? Like, it's what?
And you know what? It's not a terrible idea, but when you're in the heat of battle and you see how fast one turn goes,
Oh yeah,
like how much happens in just one turn, then you see like, I don't have enough turns to pull off this strategy. I can't do this. I mean, it seemed cool at the time, but now I'm like, I can't do this shit. I can't skill swap turn 1 and then turn 2 because turn 2 I'm dead.
yeah.
I mean, it's doable because there's weird strategies, but then you're thinking about like very bulky Pokemon designed to do that, and then your opponent I get frustrated by these little jerks online who are like, I'm just going to taunt you, and because they already know. Like, what the hell? You guys already know every damn strategy there is? He's like, no, taunt. I was like, okay, great. I was testing out a stupid strategy online yesterday or Saturday, and it was all explosion Pokemon. All Pokemon with explosion, or they had Misty explosion, and then I had a Alolan Golem whose explosion was electric because of the ability Galvanize. And I was just going to explode everything, just explode all over them. And and it worked once out of like 10 times, and everybody was like, protect, double protect, fake out. I was like, man, come on, guys. Like, you guys know like every fucking Pokemon that has explosion that exists. Like, come on. Like, get the fuck out of here. You guys need lives.
They're over here grinding the ladder, and you over here trying to troll them. They're like, what's going on here? And then you finally got one dude who was climbing the ladder probably and was like, I'm so close to Wolfie. And next thing you know, just exploded in his face. And you're just like,
block. Because I was trying to see if you have the last Pokemon remaining and you use explosion and you feint the opponent, do you feint first or do they feint first?
I think it's similar to like I think it's speed. But no, I think you would feint first because you use the move.
You are correct.
Yeah. Nah, man, that sounds amazing.
It was amazing. It was worth it 100%, especially if you have the right Pokemon. I'm talking about you have your Alolan Golem next to a ground Pokemon or a Pokemon with telepathy, because that's what I did. See, if a Pokemon with the telepathy doesn't take damage from spread moves from the partner. So I had my Hatterene, and then I had my Fairy Wheezing, put the Fairy Terrain, and then I was hitting them with Misty Explosion from Golem, and then Hatterene stayed alive because it's immune because of the telepathy, and then I would hit him with the explosion next turn from Golem, and then I do another Misty Explosion, and I do Helping Hand sometimes. It is amazing. I'm going to try it out in the draft league.
And I think that's the best part about draft leagues. Like, that's what like we're in it for. Like, those random moments of like just doing some weirdness, like with teams, like picking Pokemon you wouldn't typically use. I think that's like the best part about a draft league.
I agree.
Like your team is very unique.
My team is very funny. I don't even know. Like, the thing is with me, I like trying to make things work. Like, it's like I was explaining to you when you were first getting started. Like, if you can figure out a role for your Pokemon, then you can make it work. And at first I was like, what do these things do? Like, what the hell is this thing even? What Okie dokie? What the hell do I do with this damn thing? And what do I do with this bird? He's not even a flying type. Um, and then I have all these other flying types, and I'm like, what the hell do all these Pokemon do? And then I do a little research, and then I test them out a little bit. I look at their move sets, and then I'm like, okay, I have somebody here that can Tailwind. That's pretty good. I got somebody here who can, I don't have a redirection. I don't have follow me and stuff like that. I mean, I'm lacking on like the core beliefs of VGC, which is like redirection and like fake out. No, actually, I do have a fake out. I have a fake out user, but like redirection, having a fake out, having some way to boost your stats in some way, healing over time. I'm lacking on some of those things that are really important for a lot of people. I don't have an intimidate user, but
Mm.
I mean, it is what it is. You take it each match as it is. Um, learning how to pilot these weird teams. I don't know if it's making me any better of a player, but because when I play like a normal team, I feel like I have to go back to ground zero. I'm like, wow, how the hell do I run this team? Because I'm so used to running this weird ass team. But once you figure it out, then it's like, I don't know, I have more fun doing it, and then if I can beat like a meta team, like I beat like a wolf team the other day on the ladder, and obviously it wasn't Wolf piloting it because like kid didn't know what the hell he was doing, but I'm like, okay, if I can beat him, maybe I could beat somebody in the league. Like my match with Juan was, I felt really good about winning that one pretty decisively after losing my match with you, and then that made me believe again. I was like, okay, this team can win. This team can win. Because after I lost to you, I was like, well, maybe I need to switch. Like, I need to put in free agencies because these are ass mons. But then I was like, okay, let me look at all of the ones. Let me look at Pokemon I haven't used yet. And then I was like, okay, I don't need to bring all three of these. What are they called? The loyal trio or whatever. I don't need to bring all three of them.
Are they really the loyal trio, or are they the confused trio? Let's talk about that.
Well, you got to play the DLC to know.
Oh, I'm done with you.
If you don't play the DLC, you'll never know, bro. Yeah,
All
if
right.
you don't play the
So,
DLC, you'll never know about them, and you'll never know about Mochi, because I didn't just make that up.
Oh, I noticed that it had to be with the DLC.
But Joe, what were
so
you
I
gonna?
had a question for Caesar. Your team has kind of a theme. It's very sun based. It has the psychic terrain. It has a lot of fun things you can do with it. Um, with your team, are there any Pokemon on other people's teams that you think would be a great trade? Um, is there a Pokemon you're looking at on another team and you're like, hey, if we trade this and this, it would be a great, you know, overall as a like overall both teams become better. And basically like, hey, we're gonna enjoy, this is gonna be great for the league. It's gonna, give a little more competitiveness. Is there something on that you're looking at the moment?
Um, Honestly, no. I'm not really searching for any trades right now or anything, just because trying to figure out what to do with this team more than anything else.
Mm,
I haven't really had enough battles to really enjoy it, and also due to my extracurricular activities outside of this, it's kind of been very minimal effort put into the team, and in all honesty.
mm-hmm.
Um, I wanted to try something today. Obviously, it didn't work. It was the last hour. I was like, you know what? Let me see here. What can I scheme? And It just didn't work. So I was like, all right. So now that I know it doesn't work, throw it out the window, start something fresh. Um, so whenever not your average Joe becomes available, he's going to be facing a completely different setup than what I provided against yourself. It's something I'm gonna look at tonight. In free agency, I don't see anything that I want for myself. Now in trades, there is one Pokemon I do want. Don't want to disclose it just yet because I gotta see first if that person wants to trade it or not. In case anybody else wants to attack the same trade. But no. Really the main Pokemon that I believe that it's missing for the puzzle piece here on this team is honestly one of the ruined Pokemon, Tinglu. Luckily, he is available now. For what I'm trying to do. So, maybe I'll get lucky and get him in free agency. I do have a +1 priority right now, but I'm also trying to debate if it's worth saving +1 priority and just making a +2 priority and doing
Mm.
something next week. We'll see. Um, but I am eyeing the Team Lou, who just entered free agency this week because of unfortunate events. But I'm also eyeing the possibility of recruiting a Pokemon from the Golden State Warriors. Or Golden State Golden Dangos, if I may say. But that team does want the missing Goldango, which is very known publicly. But we'll
Mm.
see. Goldengo is definitely my guy right now. Love the Jamaican string of the Apple Jacks copycat cinnamon guy. If y'all know what I'm talking about, the commercial.
Oh yeah.
Literally what
Everybody knows, bro. There ain't a person alive that don't know. And also the cheese string guy. He looks like the cheese string too.
overall, uh, it's known that he wants it. The team says it all. But your boy, strong with the defense, bro. I just need one guy from there. Let's see if he comes over. Um,
Mm. Man, I'm gonna have to make a play now.
you can make your play. You ain't gonna get far.
What? Yo, you be
Yeah,
talking reckless sometimes, man.
I do. But you know what? You had your little victory. I let you enjoy it. Now it's time to talk reckless. um,
I got this. I got this. Don't even worry about
this
it.
man's already started to talk to Niru. Yeah, man. Like honestly, I want to see. Really, what I want to see more than anything else, and worried about my team is really seeing everybody else's teams grow. I'm kind of curious how Russ is gonna do. He is definitely new to the VGC scene for something like this. I'm curious how SJ is gonna continue to grow. How Joe will, how Joe not dub you, but Joe S not your average Joe,
Hmm.
how he does because I haven't seen him play once yet. So I'm kind of just interested in seeing how he reacts to the ever changing scene. And why do I feel like I'm missing a player?
Oh, there's Susan.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're such an asshole, bro.
It was intentional in case she would have chimed in. So Susan's team is actually the strongest of the newer recruits, in my opinion. Um, her team is definitely dangerous, very high attack based team. So definitely recommend if she ever wants any information on her team or any ideas, reach out. I have a few things that I think you could do. To any of us, especially Anthony or myself, just because Joe is your husband, so you already reach out to him every enough. Give him a break.
Yeah, I think it's also smart to reach out to people who aren't you don't see every day and stuff like that. I think getting a fresh opinion is not a bad idea as well.
That's why it's really for the fresh idea. I mean, because obviously you're gonna see the team more actively than us. So I'm assuming there's some influence already in her team from you. So seeing it from a different perspective might help her see different things that are available. Doesn't mean that they're wrong or right. It just means what's available. Just because what's optimal for the general public doesn't mean it's optimal for that week.
Very true.
That's a good point. Yes, that is a good point. Switching things match to match is definitely the key in this season, which will make our playoffs very interesting. But we can talk more about that when we get closer to it. We are into week 2 now. We did have our first match, and we could talk about the details when we review the whole week. But it was pretty competitive. It was pretty intense, and we know that Joey Dreams is feeling really good about that one. I'm looking forward to, besides your guys' match, though, I am looking forward to, well, of course, I'm looking forward to my match because I only got one this week. But I am looking forward to seeing. I could have swore that there was. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing. Well, I guess we can only see the matches that the three of us stream. So I know I'm looking forward to seeing stuff. I guess the only other match I'm looking forward to seeing is Joe, Not Your Average, versus Caesar coming up.
Yeah.
That's the only other one that I'm looking forward to besides mine.
I think also another match that I'm really looking forward to would be you and Susan's, of course. That's going to be a good match. And
Yes.
I think, Sarah, SJ has two strong opponents. She has Nero and she has Not Your Average Joe. I think those are going to be interesting teams. Yeah, I'm really excited to see is Not Your Average Joe's. So this is really going to be his start of his week. Like he doesn't get any other buys at all. Like he's playing every single week, like 2 games. Then the last week everyone has their usual one, and that's like he's got his week 1 was like a vacation for him. So now he's going to be on the grind for the rest of the season. I think that's what's going to be very interesting. That's going to be very fun. It's going to be great to watch. So
100%, I agree.
I'm rooting to see that.
Well, with that, we have a lot of things coming up, changes every day, and updates to the league. YouTube channel steadily growing little by little. If anybody's listening, take a look at the whole YouTube channel. We're always trying to add new things. Definitely coming up with some ideas here. We're brainstorming some new content featuring a Pokemon. We'll have some shorter content. We can talk about a Pokemon in less than a minute, put it under shorts. I think that could be pretty cool, especially if we show like, all right, these are things this Pokemon can do, and just throw it on there. And I think we have a niche here in the league format versus like normal VGC, because I think things they behave differently in this format because there's not something across the board that's going to be just like it. Like the one person that has, for example, like the one person that has Indeedee doesn't have to worry about another Indeedee across the board. Yeah, we know Indeedee, the male version exists, but there's only one other one of those. You're not going to see that every week. But if you're the one person with Indeedee, you're the one person, you're the best size spam user in the entire league. So that,
very true.
That behaves a lot differently than when you're on the ladder, where you have to like predict that, okay, maybe this guy's going to bring this, maybe they're not. And of course, your matches make you think, oh, well, I'll just Dark Terra everything. And then, there's a different type of chess game that's going on with that. But I think that could be fun content, just kind of going over like singular Pokemon, putting it in a YouTube short. It could be popular, maybe. Just kind of looking at trends. That's kind of what I've been doing a little bit too, is looking at the trends for popular Pokemon content, see how we can jump on those. Maybe we'll have to do a Nuzlocke, we'll do like a 3-man Nuzlocke.
Like a Soul Link kind of.
Yeah, there you go. And then, there you go. That could be good. And then whoever dies, and then all the other Pokemon die too.
Rip.
We cooking over here.
Hey. We'll have to decide what game we do. Or are we going to do this skin, Scarlet?
It's not a bad option. It's not. I feel like it's a little easier. I feel like what would be really cool is like, we got emulators nowadays. That's a good option.
That's true.
What else we got? We got a bunch of games. Sun and Moon, I always feel like there was some BS that would happen. I always feel like that was just an annoying game. Like some Pokemon would just die out of nowhere.
I feel like we have to go Gen 5 or older if we're going to do this.
Gen 4, I feel like would be very annoying.
Listen, all I'm saying is, if we're doing a Nuzlocke, and if it's not Emerald, I don't want to hear it. Emerald has to be the first one.
Emerald is pretty good. Emerald
has to be the first one. And if we can get a randomizer in there,
that'll be wild.
I'm going to see if I can find it. I believe I had it in one of my files, but if I don't...
I think I have it.
Yeah, because it makes it even more interesting. Just think about it, randomize, and then the first starter Pokemon choices are Ditto, Zekrom, and Zekrom can be an option, but you get an idea. So that's what Gen 3 Rayquaza. Can you imagine Rayquaza being one of the starters?
Imagine it's like I'm trying to think of like useless Pokemon off the top of my head.
Dunsparce.
Like you get like Dunsparce, you get like Leddyba, and
Leddyba would be decent for the first gym.
First gym is Rock.
Doesn't he get Absorb?
No, that thing sucks, bro. Like its attack sucks.
Can you imagine getting a Voltorb? That would suck.
And Voltorb
is fine.
It only gets self-destruct as its first move.
Oh my goodness, randomized moves? No. I'm gonna need you to slow down. Everybody gets Reflect in the French Crow for the 5 levels.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta struggle your way to victory.
You gotta walk before you could crawl.
Nah, you definitely crawling on in there. Ain't no walking.
Oof. Well, we definitely have a lot of ideas. We can definitely continue to grow. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the league grows and how our community grows as well. And maybe we can get some feedback from them about content that they'd like to see. And maybe they could contribute as well. I'm always open to, community creativity and everybody being a part of this entire community, so we can all benefit from it.
I think you said it perfectly, man.
All right, everybody. Thank you for sticking around for my dark humor and this beautiful island of Cinnabar. Joe, it's always a pleasure. Caesar, thank you for your time. We know that you are extremely busy and you're on to bigger and better things, but we appreciate when you grace us with your presence every once in a while. We would like to bid you adieu and good night, and we'll catch you on the next episode on the island of Cinnabar.